Begin, I just wanted to start with that sort of first thematic, which really the idea of lifestyle over location. So it's not the where, but the what of the future home, built on personal preference, adaptability, and changing future needs. So I think it's been picked up already there this morning. I think Laura, you sort of said that COVID, and we can't sort of speak a sentence without mentioning COVID, pandemic, etc. I think has had a great deal to do with accelerating the change, particularly in what people are searching for in terms of their next home, that next living space. I think probably it's in particular the introduction of things like remote working, so hybrid now being baked into people's contracts these days has allowed them to think about space in a completely different way, as well as the location of their homes. So now there's a different set of criteria that's more lifestyle focused, that are important to people as they start that initial search process. And I think this is something that Amy, if you just want to skip on to the next slide, I think this is something that Rightmove have captured really well in a recent consumer survey that they conducted. People are looking for more space. We've got there that half of renters and a third of buyers that were currently in the market at the time of asking said that lockdown had actually impacted what they were searching for in a new home. And if we unpack that a little bit more, it's that essentially people are looking for more space, and that's indoors and outdoors. They want those extra rooms, but it's those extra rooms that have multifunctional purpose. So can it be an office? Can it be a hobby space, as well as a spare bedroom as well? And also features like super fast broadband. That's one of the kind of key criteria at the moment that people are looking for. People are trying to tick that box because they need to make sure that they can work from where they live as well. So if we think about that in terms of where we were sort of 18 months, 2 years ago, it was about commuting times, transport links, things like that. It's sort of, the world has turned on its head somewhat. And what this is really indicating is that whilst location is a key factor, searches are becoming much more multidimensional and focused on the type of lifestyle people want to lead and how their homes can enable them to do that. And I think if we look at, with regard to that lifestyle change, some of that we've seen manifest itself with that desire to move out of the urban centres. And I think, lots been sort of stated in the press about those increases amongst, UK's largest city dwellers, looking to move to the country, to the people living in the Birmingham's, London's, Bristol's, Manchester's, etc. Within the UK are looking for somewhere a little bit greener to spend their time. So I think, both the sort of changing search criteria and the expanding of the search circle, I think businesses and organisations need to think a little bit differently about, what they're offering and how they're communicating with their customers or potential customers. And so what we've seen in playing out in market is that there's some people sort of coming into that area. So in terms of what we will term disruptors, you've got kind of reasonably new market entrants, so the likes of Booming, and I know they're not everybody's favourite proposition or brand, and also the likes of Twindig, who are really trying to capitalise on this idea of lifestyle, and they're allowing people to look at a whole market. So Twindig's proposition is about people being allowed to sort of search not just amongst those properties that are available to rent and that are for sale in the moment now, but any property in the UK. People can start to think about, oh, that looks like a property I'd like to follow, that looks like something, the kind of space that I'd like to live. And they've sort of introduced, as I say, their find and follow features. Booming's buyer and seller matchmaker. It's kind of as funny as that sounds, allowing people to sort of put adverts out for homes and people find houses that they're looking for. I think it's all really been done in a bid to sort of start that search journey a little bit earlier, and really think about that context of moving out. It's not just putting a postcode in, it's thinking about what are the things that you might need in terms of that future living space. You've also got some providers are looking at how they can manage people's searches in a more contextual way. So Amy mentioned before that we work with the likes of Carter Jonas, and we work with them on developing a property wizard, which really was an opportunity to not just put in a postcode or a city location, but actually removing locations that the primary search requirement, and putting in a sense of context around, do you want a commercial property? Do you want a residential property? Is it in the countryside? Is it near a city? And then we started to funnel people down in a different way to look at properties than potentially they have been before. We've also seen, I think, from probably an under the hood perspective, we've seen the impact that's had on the likes of estate agents. So talking with hunters, we've learned from them that that really nuts and bolts from a CRM perspective, they've sort of looked at greater integration between all their different branches. They've started to have to do things differently and lead share in ways that they hadn't done before. So sort of creating a re-centralisation of what is quite a decentralised model for them. So I think if you sort of look at market, there's some very top level examples of way that we're sort of seeing how this behaviour is prompting some change in the technology and that's being presented and the experiences that are being delivered to our customers.